Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on Toned In Entertainment, where we love pop culture. Today, it's time for another movie look back review. Now there's three very important rules that we need to go into watching this movie. Number one, be cautious of bright light. Number two, don't get them wet. And number three, whatever you do, do not feed them after midnight. And what happens if you break any of these three rules? Well, let's get on with my movie look back review of Gremlins, released back in 1984. The movie stars Zach Galligan as Billy, Hoyt Axton as his father Randall, Francis Lee McCain as his mother Lynn, Phoebe Cates as Kate, Keye Luke as grandfather, Corey Feldman as Pete, Howie Mandel as the voice of Gizmo, Glynn Turman as Roy Hanson, and was directed by Joe Dante. Now it's Christmas time, and Randall wanted to bring his son Billy home something special for Christmas. So instead of getting him a new puppy, kitty, or heck, even a new hamster, he got him something he's never seen before, and that's a Mogwai named Gizmo. Now right off the bat, we're going to learn about one of those rules, and that's the rule of bright light. When Billy's mom goes to take a picture of Gizmo and Billy together, well, the flash goes off, which sends Gizmo running, where we learn that bright light and especially sunlight can kill these guys. Now what happens when you break rule number two? Well, we're going to find out when Pete accidentally spills water on Gizmo. He begins shooting offspring out of his back like a tennis ball machine. And it's only moments later that Gizmo's offspring will take on a personality of their own. Now, while breaking rules number one and two are each bad in their own way, breaking rule number three, eating after midnight, is by far the worst thing, because these Mogwais go from looking like cute little guys like Gizmo and having just like ornery characteristics to transforming into the gruesome looking gremlins and having very evil intentions. Now, had this movie been made in 2021, I'm sure the route they would have went with making the Gremlins would have been using CGI. But back in 1984, CGI really wasn't perfected. And when I go back and rewatch movies from that time period, no matter how great the storytelling is, the CGI can be pretty dated. Thankfully here in Gremlins, they use puppetry, which not only holds up, but gives this movie such a great and unique feel. Now, I think ratings were definitely more relaxed in the 80s. I was around 6 years old when Gremlins came out, and my dad took me and my younger sister to go see this movie in theaters, probably thinking it was going to be something along the line of Muppets. But after watching one gremlin explode in the microwave, it makes me wonder how Gremlins got a PG rating instead of a PG-13 one. Now, without question, Gizmo is definitely the star of the show, but that doesn't mean that all the other Gremlins are without merit, as they each have their own unique personalities, including their leader, Stripe. Now, these Gremlins could have been just generic little monsters on a tear, but instead they have a lot of fun in the process of causing chaos. They sing Christmas carols, they go to the movie theater, and by far my favorite scene in this movie is when they rewire Mrs. Diggle's chair and they have her doing her best E.t Impersonation. The filmmakers definitely had a lot of fun with coming up with creative and fun thing for these little Gremlins to do, and it definitely shows. Now, do I recommend the movie Gremlins? Yes, I do. To be perfectly honest, it had been about 10 years since I watched this movie, so I was a bit concerned going back and rewatching it here in 2021. But guys, if you've never seen Gremlins, this movie is an absolute blast. Now, as of this recording, Gremlins is streaming for free on HBO Max, but if you don't have that subscription, it is available to rent for as little as $3.99. But for me personally, Gremlins belongs in my collection. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving the movie Gremlins a 9.5 out of 10, as I still absolutely love this movie. What could have easily been some generic monster movie, thankfully is not, as this movie has a very unique personality all of its own. All the human actors here in this movie are really good and play important roles, but even more importantly, so does Gizmo and all the Gremlins. When you talk about classic 80s movies, Gremlins has to be in that discussion. Now there is a sequel to Gremlins that came out 6 years later in 1990 with Gremlins 2, The New Batch, and that's going to be my next movie look back here on the channel, and we're going to find out if it's a worthy successor or just a cheap cash in. So guys, if you like movie look back reviews like this, make sure you subscribe here to Toned In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.